What if the fastest way to give groups real purpose is stepping into a space that belongs to your team for the length of the op? Not to hide from the world, but to let everyone lock into a role, hear the story beat at the right moment, and actually finish what you started without strangers cutting across the objective. If that room lets the op breathe, the road there and the road back can carry the tension. That's the heart of instancing. Give groups a focused arena inside. Keep the pressure and the stories of the wider verse outside. Basically, how this will work is that there will be two types of instancing, open and closed. Closed instances are party only. They support classic PvE dungeons and raid-style missions where designers can tune team size, puzzle flow, save points, and boss faces. You can still go solo if you want a challenge. Open instances, on the other hand, use a fixed headcount that anyone can fill, whether you're grouped or not. That creates fair PvP or PvPvE zones with known limits and clear objectives, while approach and extraction remain in the live shard, so entrances can still be hot. But this isn't limited to one place. It can apply anywhere the game needs structure and clarity, from Onyx facilities to wreck sites, contested zones, or even massive fleet battles out in space. Group gameplay suffers when the world keeps stepping on the mission. If a contract asks 6 people to coordinate, the space should respect those 6 players. Difficulty should scale with headcount and ship choice, so a tight crew in a Starlancer can take on a hard target, or a smaller crew flying multiple ships can push the same challenge from another angle. The win is not that the universe goes quiet. The win is that the op becomes readable and fair. You can learn, teach, and progress without outside noise, scrambling, pacing, or objectives. The road in and out still belongs to everyone. That's where ambushes live, where escorts and scouting matter, and where counterplay gives the verse its edge. The concern that some players have is that the instance curated content turns Star Citizen into a theme park with guided queues and auto-locking gates. While today's shard is a wide open sandbox where you can go anywhere, do anything, and affect anyone outside of armistice zones. Honestly, the answer is not either or. It's purpose-built staging for certain stories on the inside, while the sandbox remains the rule outside. If a mission depends on timing, triggers, and a fixed headcount, give it a room so the script holds. If the mission depends on discovery, improvisation, and player-driven escalation, keep it in the open world. Direct the friction so planning, skill, and teamwork decide outcomes, without sending off the chaos that makes the verse feel alive. Think of instancing as a tool, not a new rule set. Closed instances are for you and your party. You enter with your squad, and the mission tunes itself to the people and the ships you bring. That would make dungeon-style content viable. Onyx facilities set the template. When they landed a few months ago, instancing likely wasn't ready yet, so we saw the design intent without the protected room. Now, CIG had floated cooperative zones as a PvE equivalent to contested zones, and the Onyx facilities show how that structure can evolve once true instancing comes online. Early on, it probably wasn't meant to be 100+ Onyx sites at once. It likely started as a small set of high-quality spaces with cooperative PvE zones on the horizon, but instancing just wasn't ready yet, so the count increased as plans shifted. Fewer and deeper is better, with the door placed in shared space so approach and exit still feel alive. But what about saving your mission progress or clearing to a checkpoint and coming back later? Well, CIG said that at some point instances will have save points, which will let longer runs respect your time. And teaching a new player, for example, would be possible without random disruptions or server-side overflow. Progress should persist cleanly between chapters so a crew can step away and pick up right where they left off the next night. And because the space is stable, designers can lean into synchronized breaches, multi-phase objectives, puzzle gates, and reliable progress saves without worrying that a crowd surge will break the mission triggers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, open instances have a fixed player cap, which means that anyone can join. That creates fair PvP or PvPvE arenas inside larger arcs. Planetary shield gameplay, as outlined in CitizenCon last year, sets the plan for territory fights. Now, I don't think that those battles should live inside a separate instance with a hard cap. They deserve chaos and the scale of the open universe. With that said, it's likely they'll move to capped rooms at some point to avoid tanking performance. With dynamic server meshing, those rooms could spool up only when needed to keep server performance high, and then collapse when the fight cools off. Now, if you enjoy these grounded deep dives that help you make sense of major shifts in Star Citizen, hit subscribe. If you want to go further, consider becoming a channel member by joining the Vanguard. You'll get your name listed in the credits, access to members-only Discord channels, early access to chapters of my upcoming novel, additional giveaways, and more. You can either support the channel on Patreon or on YouTube. Now let's keep moving. The same logic applies to raid-like missions. Siege of Orison is coming back with the first real taste of instancing, and I'm genuinely excited to have it returning. With a known headcount, roles can finally lock in. You build fire teams with clear leads, riflemen push and hold, medics keep people on their feet, automatic riflemen with light machine guns pin targets, and snipers post long overwatch to cut angles and call movement. Meanwhile, objective teams work platform to platform, clearing stairwells, holding flanks, and finishing the tasks that move the op forward. Stormbreaker and the Apex Valakar fight would work best when mechanics don't break and objectives aren't scrambled by overflow. A clear example of these problems is the radiation pools overlapping after multiple groups took down the Valakar. Clear population and queue info in the UI would also help players decide whether to wait, switch roles, or route to another gate. Basically, if we could get the social tools implemented into the game, we would be in a much better place. Now, open instancing would also let a small strike team meet new allies inside the same run and build tactics that actually survive the full encounter. Contested zones kind of sit in the middle. These are PvPvE areas inside major stations in Pyro that cycle objectives and rewards. To keep performance and readability, contested zones can spin up as many parallel copies of the same location, each with their own fixed player cap. That would let hundreds of players participate at the same station, spread across capped instances, while the rest of the shard remains open. The doors or the instance thresholds are still in shared space, which could make some approaches a hotspot and extractions could still be intercepted. This way, the verse still keeps its bite. Designers can then rotate modifiers across these zones, so one week may favor a boarding action, and the next favors reconnaissance or salvage denial, which keeps the meta moving without burning out the players. This model scales outward. The same rules can apply to new Onyx sites, future municipal works underground, derelict carriers, or even set-piece fights in open space, where a capital target needs certain triggers to work. Meanwhile, sandbox loops stay in the open world. A line in mine should be something that you can come across naturally and be fully contestable. Light cargo runs, day-to-day bounty work, salvage skirmishes, free exploration, and even events like Rockcracker in Nyx could likely remain fully public. If a story needs a stage, give it one. If the story is discovery and risk, leave it in open space. And as new systems come online, keep seeding fresh public activities that don't need a door at all, so that there's always something emergent to chase between scheduled ops. Rewards must match risk and coordination. Curated ops should pay with more than just credits. Reputation that unlocks missions, rare components, blueprint drops, armor and paints that function like skins, and consumables that set up the next fight belong in the pool. Rotation can shift between open routes and curated ops, so both stay healthy. If there's no compelling reason to be in the live shard, then the design failed. If curated runs don't feel consistent and worth repeating, the structure also failed. And to keep a tough run moving, a replacement could be invited through your org list, friends list, or the group finder once we have the updated social tools. That way a dropped slot gets filled fast and the mission doesn't stall. Now imagine a tactical strike group built as a closed instance for you and your party or your entire org. You stage in Nyx with a small task force, hit the gateway and shared space, and the curated run begins. Friendly fighters eliminate hostile fighters and bombers, while bombers and gunships destroy power relays and open the station's inner layer. With the path exposed, your fighters can thread the station's arms, destroy the cooling units, and then burn down the main power core. When the shields drop and the anti-capital ship turrets go offline, the capital ships and their escorts can push in and dispatch a dropship to secure the objective and extract captives. In this experience, roles matter, and triggers fire reliably. If someone disconnects, a slot opens, someone invites a replacement, and the team presses on until they join up with the group. When the mission completes, you return to open space and you still have to get home. Now, on the flip side, you and a couple friends make your way to the Hathor facility to take on a line of mine in live space, just as another crew drops in. You scan to find the mining array, then run the sequence, align the 3 dishes, slot the batteries on the orbital station, prime the laser with an access card on the surface, fire, and scoop the fractured yield. In that moment, you choose whether to team up and split the take, or battle it out and keep it all. Later that night, you and your crew fly to Ruin Station and drop into the Ghost Arena. About 15 other players filter through the corridors. You sweep side rooms for access cards, stack on the keyed doors, and chain them open toward the main objective. Sometimes you team up for a push, sometimes you trade, sometimes a third squad crashes in while you're mid-fight. Then you hit the final room, load the components, armor, and weapons into the freight elevator to send it to your inventory, then ride the elevator back to the main core of Ruin Station. The standard to aim for is clear. Curated content should remain consistent from beginning to end, with reliable triggers, persistent progress, and difficulty that scales to headcount and ship composition. While approaches and exits preserve enough tension that escorts, scouting, and counterplay continue to matter. Open activities should keep expanding so that there is always something worth doing without a marker. If everything becomes a private room, the game drifts toward a lobby. If nothing has structure, large missions never breathe. The balance point is where crews perform at their best, and the universe stays unpredictable around them. But you tell me where you draw the line. Name one activity that should always stay open, and one mission that deserves a protected stage. If this helped you see the shape of it, drop a comment so I can fold your ideas into the follow-up. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with others. Also, be sure to check out my engineering and resource management breakdown. The recent tech previews showed that there's a lot coming with engineering, such as power routing, life support, repair, fire, and more. So if you missed it, that video gets you up to speed so you're ready when multi-crew work comes online. As always, thanks for watching. Fly safe, pilots, and I'll see you in the verse. Havoc out.